Hello everyone and welcome back again to U.S. Defense. In today's episode, we will discuss about the United States Armed Forces prepared to defend Taiwan. Before watching, please like and subscribe the channel. Enjoy! As the debate intensifies on U.S. policy related to the defense of Taiwan, it is useful to examine when and why the United States would carry out such a mission and the potential obstacles to a successful outcome. Is the United States prioritizing national security in its resourcing and budgeting decisions? Is the U.S. military on a path to success in modernizing its equipment, processes, and capabilities to maintain a competitive edge over China? We may not have much time to align the answers to these questions. China regards Taiwan island democracy with 23 million citizens as a renegade province to be folded back under Beijing's control. The 1979 Taiwan Relations Act does not require the United States to defend Taiwan, but ambiguously states Washington will maintain the capacity to do so. It is evident that Taiwan matters to the United States. China's control of Taiwan would give the People's Republic of China, PRC, a forward base 150 miles off the mainland, bringing Chinese aircraft and missiles much closer to vital trade routes and important U.S. allies like Japan and Australia. Barriers to success. If, as noted above, Taiwan matters to the United States and China's capability to act against Taiwan is improving, while the timeline for a potential action by China is shrinking, we must ask if the United States is properly resourcing the military to defend Taiwan if called upon to do so. Is the U.S. military currently set up for success? The short answer is no. The U.S. military currently has 4 key barriers to success. First, defense is not a priority for the current administration, demonstrated by the fiscal year 2022 budget request. Second, delays in annual appropriations and authorizations reduce buying power, hinder readiness, and delay the pursuit of a competitive advantage. Third, the definition of defense has been expanded to allow for diversion of defense resources and diffusion of attention to non-defense priorities. Fourth, institutional and statutory rules and processes do not promote speed and agility in testing, procuring, and integrating modern capabilities. Defense is not a priority. When the Office of Management and Budget released the FY 2022 discretionary top lines for defense and non-defense departments and agencies in early April 2021, it was clear that defense was not a priority. The OMB press release on the subject did not even mention defense. The discretionary totals contain a nearly 16% increase for domestic activities, while the proposed defense number would not have kept pace with inflation, which at the time was much lower than it is now. Why is this a problem? Since 2000, the DoD has spent about twice as much of its expenditures on operations and maintenance, O&M, costs as it did to procure new capabilities. As platforms age, their O&M costs skyrocket, and U.S. equipment is rapidly aging. The average aircraft in the Air Force is 31 years old, and some fleets average 60 years old. The majority of the Navy's classes of ships are no longer in production. Additionally, in 2020, maintenance, refueling, and complex overhaul led to less than half of the carrier fleet available for deployments. Real growth for defense spending. The solution to this first barrier is that the administration should support the recommendations of the National Defense Strategy Commission by providing 3-5% real growth for defense spending. It needs to be real defense spending that will result in readiness and modern military capacity and capability. The Democrat-led Congress even acknowledges the dangerous lack of attention paid to the national security budget. The FY 2022 National Defense Authorization Act increased the DoD budget by $25 billion, or 3% over the requested amount. With appropriations still pending, the final FY 2022 top line is unknown, but the Senate has also proposed increasing the budget by $23 billion over the request. The increases provided by Congress are admittedly a bit of a mixed bag, since Congress has been guilty for years of diffusing defense resources to non-defense spending. Still, the signal that increases in defense spending are necessary is clear. killing continuing resolutions. Second, delays in annual appropriations and authorizations reduce buying power and hinder the pursuit of competitive advantage. The DoD is currently operating under a Continuing Resolution (CR) through February 18, 2022, the second so far for this fiscal year. CR essentially extend last year's funding and priorities into the new year to avoid a lapse in appropriations and government shutdown when Congress can't agree on regular annual spending. When the current CR ends, DoD will have operated under temporary, damaging funding extensions like this one for nearly 1,400 days during the last 12 years. CR are expensive and damaging to national security. The longer the CR, the more the damage. In this way, and as noted frequently during congressional testimony, CR compound the harm already done by insufficient top lines. Defining national security. Third, non-defense spending in the defense budget continues to grow as definitions are expanded and resources and management attention are diverted to non-defense priorities. Public perception is that the DoD budget is growing exponentially, and it only pays for military capabilities and operational spending. This is misleading. For years, the defense budget has included funding for programs and activities that do nothing to advance military capability or increase national security. Time is of the essence. Fourth, institutional and statutory rules and processes do not promote speed and agility in testing, procuring, and integrating modern capabilities. The United States must compete with China and any other adversary that threatens U.S. national security. With the small wiggle room DoD has left after the aforementioned obstacles have wreaked havoc on its budget, the department must spend its funding as economically as possible. Barriers to doing so come in many forms, including incentive structures that support bureaucracy and risk aversion over innovation, agility, and speed, legacy and diverse business systems that don't communicate, and general stagnation and opposition to creative change. Conclusion: any defense of Taiwan planning must fix the above four barriers to succeed. Proper budgeting is essential in the success of all U.S. military priorities. The defense budget must account for inflation, which increases the cost of must-pay bills, and it must support the modernization necessary to remain competitive. Congress should prioritize and hold itself accountable for executing its fundamental constitutional responsibility of passing annual appropriations bills. We can't spend good intentions or fall back on blaming others when it comes to defense priorities. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoy the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe the channel. See you on the next videos.